morning and welcome to Love Every Moment, coming to you today from Glen, New Hampshire. Today's verse is Matthew 6:11. Give us this day our daily bread. A very famous verse that most people know, and a very humble verse. I like how simple and plain, right to the point this is. Give us this day our daily bread. Notice it's so humble. It's just daily bread. It's not give us this day our prime rib. It's asking for the basics of life, the food to eat, the water to drink, clothes on your back, air to breathe, a roof over your head, the real basic stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with praying for things that are beyond survival, such as praying for a spouse or a job or maybe transportation. Those are fine, but this is getting us back to what's super important is the survival things of life, the daily bread. It reminds me of the children of Israel that were fed manna in the wilderness, and they didn't have to plant the seed, they didn't have to water, they didn't have to harvest, they didn't have to grind it, they didn't have to bake it. It was all ready for them to go. All they had to do was pick it up off the ground and eat it. God provided for them, and I'm sure it had all the nutrients they needed. Funny thing enough is that they weren't satisfied with that and missed some of the fancier foods they had in Egypt. Ooh, leeks and onions, oh boy. We humans have a tendency to do that. We're not satisfied often with what God gives us. So if we can be satisfied with that daily bread, that will be it. In Matthew 6, as we go further down the chapter, we'll see it says, don't worry about what to eat, what to drink, what to wear. God's going to provide for that. He knows that you have need of that. Seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all that other stuff will be given to you. So if we can concentrate so much on His kingdom, loving Him, serving Him, then He's going to take care of the basics for sure, so that we don't even have to worry so much about that. Let's look at an interesting cross-reference, this time from the Old Testament, Psalm 37:25. It says, I have been young, and now I am old, yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken, or his descendants begging bread. It would be a shame if the followers of God were neglected by God. God wouldn't allow them to be neglected. He's not a neglectful God. He will give us all that we need. Now notice, all that we need, not necessarily all that we want. So we may not get fancy stuff perhaps, and God doesn't promise us a life without suffering. We may suffer a little bit, but He will provide what we need. He'll make sure of that. Now it gets even deeper. Let's look at John chapter 4. Someone told Jesus, Rabbi, you need to eat something. And in verse 35, he says, in verse 34, Jesus said, my food is to do the will of Him who sent me and to accomplish His work. Now, if we could get to that point where all I need to survive is to do His will and accomplish His work, that's when we are really arriving. And to blow our minds even more, also in the book of John, look at John 6:35. Jesus said to them, I am the bread of life. He who comes to me will not hunger. He who believes in me will not thirst. And this is amazing. All we have to do is concentrate on Him. He'll take care of all of the food, drink, all those necessities, because He is the bread of life. Now, back to our main verse, give us this day our daily bread. We can think of it now as give us this day the bread of life. That is, give us this day Jesus. Give me more of Him so I can concentrate on loving Him and concentrate less on those necessities so I can just spend that time concentrating on Him. That's what fasting is going to be about, and we're going to get to that very soon. Now, when we take communion, I am now trying to ignore the fact that that tasteless wafer is really like a piece of cardboard. I think I am taking Jesus into my life because that's what I need, more of Him. Because if we love every moment, we're going to love every moment. I'm your average wretch, and I hope you have a great week.